worked out now, and so we want to continue our conversation with Kim Brooks-Rodney, who was previously an assistant general counsel for Metro, and she's been good enough to join us this afternoon. And Kim, I'm going to go back to the question that we started with before we had a problem there. I said when you first got a notion Monday of what had happened, you get sort of the totality of all this. Tell me what you first thought.
My first reaction was that it was 2009 all over again, and that we were going to have fatalities coming from this. And thank God there was just one, as opposed to the 8 that we had in 2009.
Yeah, as bad as it was 6 years ago, or as bad as it was Monday, I should say, not as bad as what happened in 2009. But Mike and he brought this up, this notion of culture of safety, which was something that the National Transportation Safety Board really got after Metro for following the investigation of the Red Line crash. What's your feeling about that? Has that culture of safety become part of the fabric of Metro, or is this just a phrase that we sort of throw around when something bad like this happens?
No, I think sincerely Metro has made an effort to make the subway system safer since 2009. What happened on Monday is a completely different incident than what happened in 2009. So it's not fair to Metro to compare what's basically apples and oranges. So I think that since that 2009 event happened, that they have taken serious steps to try to make the subway system safer.
But there's this as well. It was reported last week that fire and smoke incidents on Metro almost doubled in the first quarter of 2014 as compared to the year before. And one of the worst incidents was January 2013 near Anacostia, when again smoke filled a train car, and that was self-evacuated. And the follow-up report blamed the incident on an arcing insulator. It's starting to sound like these arcing insulators problems, now about twice a month they're being reported. This is something that is, if it's not endemic, there certainly are an awful lot of incidents being reported of it.
My information is that in 2013 there were 85 smoke incidents, fire smoke incidents, and then in the first part of 2014 there were 86 such incidents. Now, are all of those incidents electrical arching?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. If they are, then there's a serious problem on Metro's part if, and that's a big if they knew they had such a problem and didn't take reasonable steps to correct it before Monday's event. Because if that's true, then perhaps Monday's events could have been avoided.
You come from this, or at this, I should say, with a legal background. Is that one of the reasons why we're not hearing anything? Metro has been conspicuous by its silence from this thing. Have they been told by the NTSB, shut up, we'll get this thing figured out, and then we'll talk about it later on?
I doubt that there's been such a conversation between the NTSB and Metro. Right now, Metro knows that there was an electrical arching, that the current supposed to pass through the circuit to the electrodes, that the current skipped the circuit, hopped up, and that's what caused the smoke. To be fair to Metro, right now, presumably that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in their best interest not to speak on the cause until they have time to investigate it and find out.
I'm not even so much interested in their speaking to the cause, because I understand that's the sort of thing that a comprehensive investigation is going to have to try and pinpoint. But in the meantime, all we have heard from Metro was on the evening of the event, we're sorry for this, particularly to the family of the woman who died and to the folks who have been hurt by all this. But that's about the extent of it, not that a sort of, we're just as chagrined by this as everybody else. This is not the sort of thing that we should have, that should be happening on a mass transit system like ours that has been so big and so popular and for the most part so safe for a long period of time. We're going to get to the bottom of this. It would just be good, it seems to me, if Metro made some sort of statement like that, and yet nothing.
Metro understands that inevitably there are going to be claims and perhaps lawsuits from Monday's events.
Mm-hmm.
Metro is not going to come out and say something that is going to haunt them later down the road. Their best approach to protect themselves is to not say anything until they know what's going on. They've done what they're going to do. They've sent condolences to Mrs. Glover's family. They've indicated how many people were injured, and they hope that those people get better. What they've not done is perhaps saying, here's the number to call if you have a claim or if you have a question about how to submit a claim. Now that's something that I'd like to see forthcoming from them.
Indeed, all we've seen there are notices in newspapers and online from attorneys who are saying, hey, if you were injured in that thing, give us a call, we'll represent you, that sort of thing. Something else that bothers me a little bit. We're told later this afternoon, if you had to drop whatever your personal belongings were, if you were on that yellow line train, or if you were in the L'Enfant Plaza station, and you were told to evacuate, and you dropped your purse or your briefcase or a coat or something like that, that you'll be able to start picking them up today. And yet, we were told that earlier in the day, but Metro still hasn't said when you can start doing this. It seems that there's kind of a rudderless ship right now. Richard Sarle's last day is Friday. There's already been an interim director named. Are you worried about right now sort of management at the top?
I'm not particularly worried about management at the top. What I am concerned about is the yellow line is up and running. Come get on the subway, it's safe, and we don't know that yet. This could very well happen this afternoon or tomorrow because we don't know what caused it.
It is, I have to say, a worrisome picture that you paint for us, and I really appreciate your joining us. And it might be worthwhile if we can continue this conversation at some point. Kim Brooks-Rodney was an assistant general counsel for Metro, and she's been good enough to join us this afternoon and I think be real forthright and frank in her assessment of what's going on. It's good to have a view from inside Metro because, frankly, we still have not heard from him. Again, much appreciated.
Thank you.
You're joining us. There's other news to tell you about.